In 1967, the situation and the living conditions of these refugees were made worse when Israel occupied Gaza Strip and the West Bank, and Palestinians had to live under this occupation, oppression, for more than 56 years so far. The reason why I'm saying this, because what we're hearing now from leaders, politicians, and even the mainstream media, and all these liars, that what happened on the 7th of October is the cause of what's happening now in Gaza. This is a big lie. This started more than 75 years ago, and made worse in 1967, when the same Israeli occupation, the same Israeli occupation occupied Gaza and the West Bank. Another stage of this suffering started in 2000, when Israeli forces split Gaza into 3 zones and implemented many of the restriction to the freedom of movement, checkpoints, controlled the only crossing border with Egypt. During this, we had many thousands of orange trees, olive trees were cut. There's fishing industry completely stopped. People, they're having no jobs, no opportunities, no hope, no life. Health sector has been deteriorating since then. High rates of cancer, kidney disease, strokes, heart disease, everything. The last stage of this escalation started in 2006, when the Israeli put Gaza Strip under a complete blockade and siege. They restricted the supply of fuel. They airstrike the only power station in Gaza Strip in the same year, in 2006. They were not allowing farmers to look after their lands close to the borders. They cut every single hope. They made Palestinians suffer until what happened on the 7th of October. So please, we need to be aware. We need to tell the truth. We need to put this pressure on these politicians and media, and make them tell the truth that what happened hasn't started on the 7th of October. The history and the calendar hasn't started on the 7th of October. It started more than 75 years ago. Another thing, I know one of the speakers just mentioned on the West Banks. So you know about the apartheid war in the West Bank, and this how the segregation and the continuous taking over of Palestinian lands, cutting trees, and just building new illegal settlements and bringing new illegal terrorist settlers, armed settlers, militia, attacking Palestinians in the West Bank. By the way, there's no Hamas in the West Bank. Palestinians are being killed every single day. Children are taken to prisons every single day. Women are taken to prisons every single day. As the speaker earlier said, in Israel there's something called administered detention, where they can put Palestinians in prison for 6 months without a trial, without a charge, without lawyer, without the children without any access to their parents, and they can renew these 6 years and 6 months and 6 months after 6 months and after 6 months until whenever they want. And I'm here, let's talk about the position of the politicians and leaders of the UK and European countries. So 75 years of living as refugees, 56 years under occupation, and 18 years of blockade meant nothing to these leaders. And they shamefully keep saying, we stand with the occupier, the occupier has the right to defend themselves. What about these children, women, civilians, doctors, paramedics, hospitals? 26 hospitals are destroyed in the Gaza Strip. They destroyed all the radiology, for example, radiology machines, MRIs, everything. They're cutting water supplies. The occupier has this responsibility to supply water, electricity. They're cutting water. They're striking bakeries. They strike the only flour mill in the Gaza Strip. You know what? They're cutting air. They are using white phosphorus, which is using this white phosphorus is a war crime. They're cutting air. The 1.7 million have been displaced. 2 hours ago, Israelis warned the remaining people in the Gaza Strip to move to the south. So, yeah, this has to stop. I think enough is enough. As our brother said, I lost 23 of my close family. They were all gathered in my parents' flat. So this flat is one of 25 flats in a 5-story building. The flat is in Al-Nusayrat camp, which is located in the southern part of the Gaza Strip, which is the area that is designated by Israelis as a safe area, and they told people to move to this area. My sister, her husband, and 2 children who used to live in Gaza City moved to my parents' flat. My other sister and her 6 children used to live in Gaza City moved to my parents' flat. My brother, his wife, and 4 children moved to my parents' flat. My auntie, they all together 24 when the building was airstriked by 4 rockets. The whole building turned into a big pile of rubble. More than 25 people were killed, including 23 of my close family. My father, my mother, my brother, 5 sisters. The oldest sister is 40 years old. The youngest is 18, and 20, 23, and 26. My auntie, my sister's husband, he's my cousin as well. My brother's wife, and the 12 children of my nephews and nieces. 12, the youngest is 4 months old. Ibrahim is 4 months old. 12 of my nephews and nieces were killed. As far as we know, we don't know that they were taken by Hamas as human shields. As I said, more than 250 people were killed in this brutal, barbaric attack. And yet we still hear from leaders in the civilized West, in the US, the UK, European, we stand with the occupier, and the occupier has the right to defend themselves. Shame on you, Rishi Sunak. Shame on you,
Shame.
Foreign Secretary.
Shame on you.
Shame on you, Member of Parliament for Redditch, Rachel McLean. By the way, you know, she voted against the call for a ceasefire. Imagine, they are cowards even to call for a ceasefire. One of our brothers met Rachel McLean and went through what's happening in Gaza, and myself, and invited her to attend the gathering in the mosque 4 weeks ago, and she apologized, and her response was shocking. One of the things she said, she were busy dealing with some sewage issues. He told her, do you think killing children is less important than sewage issues? Of course, she won't find it difficult to justify or say, give any justification. He went. This brother went through what's happening in Gaza and using the white phosphorus as like war crimes, and she was listening. Her response at the end was, you know what? Whatever you say, whatever you try to convince me, I will not change my mind. I trust the Prime Minister, and I trust our Foreign Secretary, and I will do whatever they tell me to do. So this is I don't know. For me, this is not a democracy. This attitude is not a democracy. This lady was elected. People voted for her to represent them. And to come and say, I will do whatever the Prime Minister tell me to do. I think this is really a strange attitude. This is not democracy at all. So please think carefully before we vote. And as the speakers just said, we really need to keep just writing to them and conveying our message. I mean, I've lost 23 of my family. You can't imagine the pain and the mental damage, the emotional damage. Every single one of them is a dimension in my life. Every single one. I lost the 23 dimensions. Father, mother, brother, sisters, 23 dimensions of my life. The spectrum of my life becomes much narrower. Without family, we're nothing. We are social creatures. Honestly, I'm struggling until now. When I feel I'm distressed, sad, I want to speak with my father or mother, and I forget that they're not alive anymore. My sister, she lost 6 of her children. The youngest, as I said, is 4 months old. The oldest is 12 years old, and she's the only survivor. By the way, she's the only survivor. She knew. So my family were killed in 31st of October. She knew about what happened maybe only last week, and you can't imagine how mentally damaged she is now. Honestly, we are very concerned about her mental health. 2 days ago, I was talking to her and she was asking, Mohammed, is it really correct? I lost all my children. I said, yeah, alhamdulillah, thanks God. This is what happened. You need to be strong. And I tried to calm her. She said, well, how come? I can't steal them. I can't. So she said, how come I can't still see them walking, talking to me, and I talk to them loudly? Are you sure? Are you sure? And she's mentally damaged. She's breathing, but she's dead. She's dead. She lost children, her children, father, mother. Unfortunately, we are let down by the media even. They keep talking about us like human and records. 23, they are all